Look at her, Richard. Look at how magnificent she is. The most deadly hunter ever created. The most deadly dinosaur ever created. And I did it because I'm a mad scientist.
You're mad. You are mad. How can you play God by creating a dinosaur? However, did you do this?
Well, I just let her listen to this Pod Bros exclusive.
What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And today we are speaking the language of bromance.
Richard, I think I worship the bromance that we come to today.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Because you know what, Shawn? We're not a religion.
No, we're more of a cult.
We're just a way of being.
Yeah.
We're just a couple of guys trying to show you a better way to live.
Just a good old boys. Never made no harm.
Exactly. We're like the Dukes.
Yeah. But with more homoeroticism.
Are we?
Probably about the same.
Are we? Yeah, it's about the same. Shawn, today we are going into the wonderful world of cults. How much do you, sir, know about cults?
Well, I know some of them don't end very well. I've been listening to the Heaven's Gate podcast, which talks about the Heaven's Gate cult.
There's a whole podcast about that?
Yeah, it just started
I
up.
would think that there wouldn't be that much on it because they weren't around for a while, were they? Were they around like a...
Yeah, they were around since like the 70s. Like they had started
Really?
out. Yeah, they'd started out for a long time, and it wasn't until like the 90s is when the whole Kool-Aid drinking incident happened.
Was it Kool-Aid? I thought they were applesauce. Kool-Aid was Jonestown. They had the applesauce, right?
I thought they were Kool-Aid too. I haven't got to that part yet. Spoiler alert, Richard.
Oh, now I ruined it. Fuck you. It's like 20 years ago.
It was like early 90s. No, but basically like these two people like started going town to town and were like, hey, guess what? You should hang out with us. And people are like, why? It's like, because we're aliens. It's like, oh, okay. Show us the way, alien people.
God, is it really that easy?
It's scary.
See, this is why I want to start a cult. Because of shit like that. Because if it's really that easy, if it's just as easy as like walking up to people and being like, hey, you should join our cult because aliens. And the people are like, oh, okay.
What they do is they go and they find people who are down on their luck and they need help. And, you know, they basically it's kind of like if people come to us and be like, hey, you should hang out with us. We're like, why? It's like, well, because we're aliens. It's like, oh, is there cookies? Sure, we'll get cookies. All right, we'll be there.
What kind?
Hey, do you guys like podcasts? Because I've got like a whole library that could use a download.
Never mind.
Wait, yeah, we get kicked out of every cult. Hey, maybe that's how we should go get more listeners. Like we spread the LOB army by going to these cult meetings.
What if the LOB army is a cult?
Two of us.
Yeah. That's a good point. Okay, Shawn. So let's say if we started a cult, who would we like be in charge? Would we be a cult? Would we be messiahs of two?
I think so. I think you'd have to have the co-leader kind of thing. Because that's what the Heaven's Gate started out as a guy and a girl.
Okay.
And yeah, you just have to. I think we'd probably have to like sell it as the way of the Force and the Jedi.
Yeah,
and you'd be like,
I'm totally fine with that.
You'd be Obi-Wan and I'd be Master Splinter.
We'd be alone, and at some point, and it'd be like, and you're like, Richard, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to smash your head. I'm trying to choke you. And you're like, Richard, this isn't real.
This is how we get free pizza every Friday, Richard.
We were just doing this to get money and chicks. Like that was the whole. Stop. You're gonna pop a blood vessel.
Oh yes, I'm doing it. Oh, I release you. Just so you know, Shawn, that's why I'm in charge. Yeah, Richard. Yeah, that's why you're in charge. Now I get the last pepperoni because I'm Richard the Jedi.
Now I use ninjutsu. And then you just like do like half a cartwheel.
Fall down. It's like a Chris Farley cartwheel. Like my legs don't go over my head; they go to the side.
Okay, Shawn. So if we started a cult, what would be our rules? You gotta have rules. Okay, I'm saying it right now. Rule number 1: let's do polygamy.
Really? Polygamy?
Yeah, why not?
Everybody shares everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a cult, right?
Yeah, free love.
And I'm not saying okay, so you see these polygamy places, and it's always like dudes in charge and taking on wives. Like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm fine with everybody with everybody, because I'm about equality.
I kind of think like we might set the rules, but we need to put some women in charge. I think that's probably what we need to do.
This is exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying, because I think if you and I had a cult, we would run it into the ground. So we need much better people than us to handle like logistics.
Our first meeting, we bring our wives. Like, okay, girls, we're starting a cult. Like, okay, it's like, yeah. Rule number 1: polygamy. No, actually, I'm sorry. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put you two in charge because we'll fuck it up. But rule number 1 is polygamy. They're like, no, it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not. What's rule number 1, sweeties?
That's the stupid rule. How about nudity? Can we do rule number 1? No. Oh.
Well, what should rule number 1 be? Richard and Shawn have to take out the trash. Oh, this cult thing just sounds like marriage.
I hate this cult. Can't divorce a cult.
When do we go get when do we get new cult members? We don't. Oh. Rule number 2 sucks too.
Shawn, suicide pact.
We just drink like a bunch of Kool-Aid. We don't put anything in it. Just have a sugar rush and crash.
We're just like all laid down with our bellies distended. Oh,
one more gallon. Yep. Go.
When's this supposed to kick in?
I always hear drink the Kool-Aid. The girls are like, that's because they put poison in it. Oh, we forgot the poison. Why would they do that?
Now take out all these Kool-Aid containers.
Poison sounds bad. It sounds like that hurt.
Oh my God, I wouldn't want that. Is that what they did? That sounds terrible.
Cults are horrible. I want to go back to just being married.
No, we like the cult thing. By the way, we're doing polygamy, but we decided it's women only. Oh.
Do we get to watch? No. Oh. Well, what's our job?
Well, hold this fan.
Turn around the other way.
Richard, hold these. Shawn, you hold this fan. Richard, hold these grapes.
Well, it's a living.
Okay, Shawn. So the cult I'm going to talk about is known as the Hernandez brothers cult.
Okay. Sounds erotic.
Yeah, that's super erotic. The Hernandez brothers?
Yeah.
Sounds like a fucking circus.
That's a good point. That sounds like a circus. Well,
come down to the Hernandez brothers. We're a cult and we've got clowns.
We've got bearded ladies too. Sounds like an American Horror Story movie.
Oh, that's a good point. Didn't they? Yeah, they went. No, there was a season in between, right?
There was a carnival
circus.
One. Yeah, it was like
there was the circus, and then cult, right? Or was there was one in between?
Cult's the new one, I think. I haven't watched any of them really.
Cult's the new one. I think the one before that was Hotel.
Yeah, with that crazy singer girl.
Oh,
Kesha.
Yeah. Lady Gaga.
Yeah. She was like, this is the Hotel of Sex, where we have little people. I think there's little people in that one, wasn't there?
No, there were kids.
Oh, it's even worse.
I think they were vampires. I think that was the whole thing.
Really?
Spoilers.
That show was just crazy. I tried to watch the one where they were in the asylum.
Oh my God. I watched that whole season. That shit was fucking nuts.
Yeah, I got through like 3/4 of it. And now there's zombies. I'm like, my brain can't process this.
Right?
It's
like the Susan of every genre of scary movie.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here's a crazy serial killer. Oh, here's possession by the devil. Oh, here's monsters in the woods. Oh, here's aliens.
Here's Frankenstein. So like a Frankenstein thing in there too?
I think so, yeah.
Monster. Like, oh, and you know what? Society hating gay people? We got that too. You're like, oh.
And you're like, what the fuck is happening?
There's so many bad things. I can't
focus.
It's
weird because it actually like all kind of gels together okay.
Yeah. Did you ever hear they finally came out and said what each of the because they said all of them have kind of like combined somehow? Like they're all related. Did you ever read what it was?
No.
It's the layers of hell.
Oh.
Each one's based off of a specific was it layers or
level, like the levels?
Yeah, the 7 levels.
Or the circles. The 9 circles of hell. Dante's Inferno.
Yeah. Because Dante was hot because he was going down.
Do you know it was at the what the lowest circle of hell is? The 9th circle of hell, reserved for betrayers.
And
at the center of the 9th circle of hell is a monster with 3 heads, and the center head is Judas Iscariot. Because he was the worst sinner of all. So he sits at the center of the 9th circle of hell.
That's what happens when you betray friends, Richard. What have you been doing lately, Richard?
Counting my silver.
What other podcast are you doing? Oh, wait a second. Let's move on.
Anyway, Hernandez Brothers cult that I'm in charge of and you're not because you're doing other stuff. All right, Shawn. So the Hernandez Brothers cult in 1962 and early 1963, there were these 2 brothers, and their names were Santos and Caetano. Caetano and Santos Hernandez. They were paid criminals, and they were in a small town called Yerba Buena. And
Where's
this is a small.
Where's that at?
It is a small community near the city of Ciudad Victoria in Mexico.
Okay. Is that like close to the United States? Middle? Southern?
It is, I want to say like south.
Okay.
It's, oh no, actually no, it's fairly up north. It's, yeah, it's fairly north. Not like border north, but more north than the peninsula.
Okay.
So anyway, let's see. As part of a scam, the brothers told impoverished and mostly illiterate villagers that they were the prophets of powerful and exiled Inca gods.
Okay. So were they so I know in Mexico there are like descendants from Incas, or is it Incas or just be Inca people?
Aztecs.
Thank you.
The Incas are from all the way in Peru, and we'll get to that later because there's a huge discrepancy that it makes you go like, why the fuck did they buy this?
Okay,
but so anyway,
they're not like descendants of either one of these two. They're probably like descendants of Spaniards, or
this is like this is the 1960s. They're probably they're descendants from their parents.
No, I mean like because like what their roots. So I'm just trying to figure get the mindset.
So yeah, so in Mexico they were more like the ancient gods of in that region were Aztecs, not Incas.
But were these
Incas
two,
were in Peru?
Did these two have any kind of like?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. The brothers demanded worship and tribute from the villagers in exchange for treasures hidden in the caves of the mountains surrounding the village. So these 2 guys roll into town like a circus. They roll into town, right? And they're like, hey, everybody, we're prophets. And if you are nice to us and give us things, then we're going to tell you where there's a bunch of treasure up in the mountains.
Listen. Trust in the prophets, you get profit.
Yeah. Step 1, give us things. Step 2, love us. Step 4, profit.
Profit. Yeah. I like it. I'm sold. Where do I send my money? Where do I PayPal this money to?
To the Hernandez Brothers Circus. Despite the fact, right here, okay, despite the fact that the Incas were not historically from Mexico, many inhabitants of Yerba Buena believe the brothers' claims being Inca prophets. So here's the question, Shawn. Do you think that these brothers are just like way smart, or just that the villagers are overly stupid?
Probably a little bit of one, a little bit of the other. I mean, they're con artists, because unless they have been spoken to by an Inca god from Peru, they're con artists, and they're going to trying to find the lowest common denominator of intelligence in their city, and basically sell them that 4-point plan. Give us all the money you have. Love us.
Yeah, what do you do in a world before PowerPoint when you're trying to sell this?
Oh, that's a good point. This is in the 6th.
You're like, we can't draw bubbles with dollar signs around it. Like, what the fuck are we going to do? Just draw it in the dirt.
Probably, yeah.
They're like, now, as you look at Dirt Patch 1, you can see that there's bubbles with dollar signs around them. Would you like to have those bubbles? And everybody's like, see, we want the bubbles. It's like, okay, well, let's move on to the next Dirt Patch. And as you can see here, you're giving us things and bowing at our feet. Do you see that? See that? See,
what's I see you have a step 3 here, but it's kind of blank. What's going on there? Let's not worry about step 3. Let's move over to this one. It's profit. You like profit, right, dog?
Step 4, you have those bubbles. See those bubbles with a dollar sign? They're in your hands, aren't they? See?
I like bubbles and I like dollar signs, but let me step back. So number 3 again. This guy's a non-believer. Everybody kill him.
Get him. So the brothers said, give us, worship us and give us things, and we'll tell you about treasure in the mountains. So I don't understand why they had to go with a religious angle on this. Are they saying that, like, oh, we've had a vision that there's treasure in the mountains, and if you give us stuff, then we'll tell you where it is?
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, it's kind of like, oh, you've already said mountains and treasure, so I guess step 3 is I have to find the treasure on my own, right? They start walking like, no, wait. That's not step 3.
Is step 3 the treasure map? Is this where you drew the treasure map?
Everybody, let's go to the map. No, wait, stop.
No.
Did they PayPal you the money? No? Fuck. All right, let's try this again. Let's go to a different city.
Yeah, that's my question. Like, why have the religious angle? Why not just say, hey, if you give us this amount of money, then we'll tell you where this treasure is in the mountains?
Maybe because it makes it more mythical. It's just kind of like,
maybe.
It's like, well, nobody else has found treasure in the mountains because they haven't been spoken to by an Inca god that knows where it is.
Ooh, and then somebody's like one of the 2 brothers is jingling wind chimes. Ooh.
Yeah. It's like, wait, how do the Inca gods know where the treasure is here in Mexico? Aren't they from Peru? Kill that man. He's a non-believer.
Never you mind. We like to wander.
It's like American
We're
gods.
traveling people. We're traveling prophets. Jesus walked everywhere. Why can't we? Fucking non-believer.
Look in the sand. You see one set of footprints, and then you see another. You know who that is? You know who the other set belongs to? Your brother? Yeah, but damn it. This metaphor kind of loses
there was footprints where he carried me. I don't know. The footprints lead to treasure. That's my point.
And for a low sum of $29.99 a month.
There was footprints, and then I got tired. I don't remember. Treasure in the mountains. That's all I'm saying.
Do you think those people have trouble sleeping at night?
Probably not. Because I think that if you got the balls to go up in front of this crowd of people and say this shit, then you got to be comfortable with it. Yeah. You got to be comfortable with it. Like, if you're at that point, where you're just like, hey, give us stuff. There's treasure in the mountains.
If I'm lying, the Inca god can strike me dead right now.
Okay, so in the caves of the mountains surrounding the village, where they also perform their rites and would soon come to claim authority over their former kingdom and punish the unbelievers.
How'd they punish the unbelievers?
I'm not sure. I'm not there yet. The Hernandezes.
I don't think I want to punish anybody in our church, Richard, or in our cult.
They were completely ignorant because the, quote, Inca gods belonged to the mythology of pre-Hispanic Peru. It would have been more logical to say that they were Aztec gods. But many of the inhabitants of Yerba Buena, prisoners of ignorance and misery, believed this nonsense. Thus, the Hernandezes founded a relatively prosperous sect. Adherents demanded economic and sexual taxes, both women and men.
Whoa.
Yeah. Shit got real.
Sexual taxes. I tried that with my wife, and I got a black eye, Richard.
Yeah. Time for sexual taxes.
Whack.
Time for some physical taxes. Punch.
Oh, ow. I'm going to go do a podcast now. Richard, my sexual taxes got audited.
Physically taxed.
I'm under audit for my sexual taxes.
Did you pay a penalty? I paid a big penalty.
I'm not going to get sexual activity for 6 months.
Should have filed an extension. I should have. I so should have.
That's why she invited the neighbor over.
Let's see. So both women and men demanded economic and sexual taxes. The Hernandezes went from being simple thieves to cheats and sexual slaveholders, organizing orgies in which they use narcotics. How the hell does this happen?
I don't know.
How do they go from so Shawn, this is the equivalent of this isn't that far back. This is 1963 or 62.
Yeah, there's already orgies going on at this time. You didn't have to join a cult to be in an orgy. That's what my mom said anyway.
I'm waiting for it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What?
Because this happened in 62.
Uh-huh. What time frame? The summer?
Maybe.
Was it Summer of Love?
And that's honestly the closest that you've come to the Summer of Love.
Yeah. Well, I mean, orgies. I mean, anytime there's an orgy in the summer, I would consider that a Summer of Love.
That's true.
Point
well taken.
You know, like if we started our cult, our wives are like, yeah, let's do this. And they're like, oh, hey, we're going to have an orgy Saturday. Like, I don't know if I could participate. That's a lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure.
It's like, all right, let's do it. Oh, wow. There's a lot of people here. I don't know if I can take my clothes off.
I'm shy.
Everybody's looking at me. No, they're not, Shawn. Yeah,
I don't want to be the prophet anymore.
Shawn, why aren't you getting a boner? I don't know.
I'm nervous.
He's a non-believer.
Non-believers keep it soft.
Oh
no, hang on. I'm prophet shy. Give me a second. Hang on. Come on.
Step 1, marriage. Step 2, only one person ever sees me naked again.
But yeah, okay, so like I said, this is 1962. How the fuck is it that two dudes are just like, hey, let's show up at this town and tell them we're prophets, and they go from that idea to orgies? Well, I mean, how the fuck does that happen?
How many people do you need for an orgy? Like, what qualifies an orgy? 6 people?
I would say more than a couple, right?
I'd say at least 6 to 10.
I would say at least bare minimum, I would say 5. Because if it's 4 and you have 2 guys and 2 girls, that's just couples.
Yeah. So you have to have that creepy dude on the corner come over.
You have to have a fifth wheel. A fifth wheel does an orgy make.
Yeah. I'm the fifth wheel.
Oh my
When's
God.
it my turn?
That was really poignant. Shawn, I'm gonna save that for the end. Remind me that. Save that for the end.
Save that for the end.
Save it for closing thoughts. Closing thought, a fifth wheel does an orgy make. If there's anything that I want taken away from this, it's that lesson.
I still feel like that's a lot of... I can't get over the fact that that's a lot of pressure. Especially if, you got to start out slow, right?
Well, yeah, okay, but think about this, though. So say it's 5 people. So that's 2 guys. Say it's 2 guys and 3 girls. Okay? So it's basically, like you pair up 1-to-1, and then there's like a floater. It's like 2 people are together, 2 people are together, and then one girl is playing like zone defense.
She's like going and getting drinks and getting towels.
Right. Doing like hot swapping.
I still feel like that's a lot of pressure to put on one person. And you gotta if you gotta start out 5, you can't go from regular couple sex to orgy. I don't think you can do that.
No, I agree. Yeah, that would be a leap. You have to work your way up to that.
Yeah.
And we'd be starting late. We're so late in the game.
That's true. What do you mean? We got to do things other than missionary. Oh, this is a new guy. He's been married for a while.
Don't get on top. That makes Jesus cry.
I think the devil has his finger in my butthole. No, that's just me, Greg.
Oh. I know we said we'd take on we'd start slow and do 3, but did it have to be a dude? Man.
Oh.
Well, you gotta get over this hump sometime.
Gotta finish.
Like stage fright. I can't picture him naked. He's already naked. So, dude. Parapay criminals. The cult, the Hernandezes went from being simple thieves and cheats, sexual slaveholders, organizing orgies in which they use narcotics. So everybody's getting high and fucking like rabbits, Shawn. That's what's happening.
All in the name of Inca Gods of Peru.
The cult continued running like that with no problem for a while, after which the believers began to grow impatient at not seeing the promises fulfilled.
Why?
You know what?
Like why having fun?
Yeah, it was exactly what I was gonna say.
It's like, all right, Hernandez brothers.
I know we've been doing these orgies and stuff, but you said something about money in the mountains. And then there's another guy like, dude, we're having orgies like 24/7. Like, what? Why are you fucking trying to kill the golden goose here, Greg?
It's like, Greg, are you paying for any drugs here? No. Well, neither am I, and I get free pizza and booty. Just shut up. Don't kill a good thing.
Shut the fuck up.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, or gift orgies, I like to call it.
Don't look a gift orgy in the fifth wheel.
Don't look a gift orgy in the devil's hole.
Don't fuck this up. That's my point. The cult continued running like that with no problem. And so the brothers devised a plan. They went to Monterey in search of prostitutes who wanted to be part of the farce and made contact with a woman and her brother who both agreed. The woman's name
is her brother or pimp? Like, that's creepy.
The woman's name is Magdalena Solis. Or Solis. Okay? She was responsible for... Oh, she came from a poor family, and it was most likely dysfunctional. Duh. Did they really need to put that? Like, she's a prostitute on the streets.
She's had a rough childhood.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, most homes... Ugh, she's not a very attractive... Well, she looks okay in this picture.
Magdalena Solis. She began to practice the profession of prostitution at a young age, a profession in which she worked until her marriage, along with her brother, Eleazar Solis, who acted as her pimp. So apparently her brother decided, hey sis, I know she's been getting beat up a lot. Let me help. Come on, it could be like family business. You know, we could be like a circus. We'd be the Solis brother-sister
It's worked
team.
for those Hernandez brothers.
Oh my God. So her brother was her pimp, and she decided, I guess at this point, to join up. She decided to join up with the two brothers. Well, both of them decided to join up with the two brothers, and they're gonna go they're gonna go keep this like whole thing going. Okay, so that's the plan. So the brother's gonna help participate in the whole smokescreen thing. And here's the plan. You ready?
Okay.
Here's what they decide to come up with. During a ritual, so like in the mountains, they presented using a smokescreen magic trick. They present Magdalena Solis as the reincarnation of a goddess. What no one counted on was that Magdalena would eventually believe the lie.
Ooh, so she kind of, what is it like whenever actors or actresses kind of believe their own part, like when they method act?
Yeah, she's so method.
Like, oh, let me get into this. I'm an Aztec. No, I'm an Inca from Peru in Mexico.
Oh my God, I'm so method.
It's like what was it, The Vampire in Brooklyn with Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
It's exactly like that.
You know who else did method acting? James Franco in The Disaster Artist.
He did.
Make a real Hollywood movie.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. So shortly after joining the sect, Magdalena took over. By then, two fans, tired of the sexual abuses, wanted to leave the sect. The other believers, prisoners of fear, were charged before the high priests, and Solis's condemnation was clear. She sentenced both of these men to death.
Oh.
And guess what, Shawn? They were lynched.
Oh, so there wasn't like a blood sacrifice or anything? She just
We're
straight up killed him?
after these first 2 murders, as is a characteristic of serial murderers, their crimes evolved, becoming more violent. Now, this is the line that had me confused, right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna say this sentence, and then we'll just pause and we'll let that sink in. Bored with simple orgies, she began to demand human sacrifice, and she devised a blood ritual.
Orgies, it's the gateway drug to serial killers.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I'm in mid-orgy and be like, you know what? This just isn't doing it for me. I need a real rush.
Yep. You whisper into your significant other or whoever you're with at the time, like, hey, do you think we should have a blood orgy right now? Like a blood
Let's
sacrifice?
kill somebody. You know what would make this awesome? Let's just kill somebody.
Yeah, let's go all like, what's that vampire movie where there's vampire and werewolves? Yeah, let's do that.
Like Underworld?
Yeah.
Do you want me to be Kate Beckinsale?
Can you? My name's Bob, but I can try.
Bob, why are we together? No one will get near us.
Oh.
And I was lonely.
Me too. And that's how the cult was dissolved.
It's night and it's the desert. I was trying to snuggle up for warmth.
There were snakes all over, and I thought I heard a coyote. Greg,
I was so scared.
Greg, I am fucked up on peyote right now.
Oh shit.
Do you hear that chicken?
You're not planning on fucking these chickens, are you?
'Cause I am.
You fuck chickens? I have thought about fucking me some chickens. The sacrifice, which was always a dissenting member, was brutally beaten, burned, cut, and maimed by all members of the cult.
So that's kind of like where you don't really want to be involved, but you have to, because like, wait, if I don't, you see what happened to that guy?
Right? Yeah. That's my thing is like, I'd say no, but if I say no, then I'm, course number 2.
Yeah. That's where you got to go up to the High Priest, be like, High Priestess,
can we just go back to like smoking a bunch of weed and fucking each other? Because I was totally down with that plan.
We just got hungry and ate pizza and drank lots of Mountain Dew.
And then fell asleep. Like, can we do that?
And with so many people, there's always a snuggle buddy.
Bob was my snuggle buddy, but that was okay. It's better than this. This is fucked up.
I'd snuggle with Bob over this.
This is some fucked up shit right here.
Yeah, how do you get out of that? Like, you go up and talk to the High Priestess and be like, hey, High Priestess, I see we're getting low on stabby things.
We're getting low on, non-believers to stab in the face. I should go find some.
Yeah, I think there's
in
a lot.
America.
I think there's a lot of them at the police station in America.
In Boston.
Wait, not north enough. Toronto, Canada.
Fairbanks, Alaska.
Oh, shit, there's vampires up there.
Oh, my God, it's this all over. I left Mexico to get away from this shit.
Now I'm just dying in the cold.
So thereafter, she practiced a bloodletting where the victim was made to bleed to death. The blood was deposited in a cup mixed with chicken blood.
That's how you get salmonella poisoning.
And then she would drink from the chalice and gave the drink to the priests. And the priests were the 2 Hernandez brothers and then her brother. So she's the goddess, and then the 2 brothers and her brother are the high priests.
So do you think they like... So imagine the scene, right? So she's just did this bloodletting. She's like, listen, I like to top mine off with a little bit of chicken blood. So she like tears a chicken's head off, like pours it in like it's a flask. And she takes like a big gulp, and like the Hernandez brothers are standing right next to her, right? So she like takes this big gulp, like, and she's like, oh, now my high priest will take a drink. And his brothers were like, you go first.
Go ahead.
Okay.
No, I think you're a much higher priest than I am.
There's only
So you
enough
should
for
go
one.
first. Well, okay, but since I'm the highest priest, then I'm gonna give it to my followers first. So and then I'll go after you. Well, maybe the high priest should drink first because he needs to make sure that everything's up on the up and up for his followers.
Maybe he should drink first because this was his fucking idea. I just wanted to eat pizza, get high, and have an orgy.
And then somebody went and got this fucking crazy bitch from next town over, and now we're sitting here with a cup of chicken blood in our hands.
What was that? Nothing, High Priestess.
Non-believer. That's a good point. He is a non-believer. Let's get the bigger cup. Oh, shit. God damn it. They would also... The ritual also included animal sacrifices and the use of narcotics such as marijuana and peyote. So they're all fucked up on peyote, killing chickens and people, and drinking out of a cup. So she finally gave the cup after the priest drank, then she would give the cup to the other members, and presumably this gave them extra natural powers.
That's
I'm sure the peyote had absolutely nothing to do with that.
Yeah, that's true. What is peyote? Is it like a plant?
It's kind of like ayahuasca. Like you put it in stuff and then
Drink it.
Yeah.
Does it just give you like an acid trip? Is the idea behind it?
Yeah, basically.
Did you see the size of that chicken?
It's like a more natural form of an acid trip. Like ayahuasca. Because like all ayahuasca is they just take like a whole bunch of tree bark. It's because I think it's the bark. I can't remember if it's the bark or the wood, but they just take it and then they boil it with water and some other plants, and they just boil it and boil it down.
Throw in some cinnamon for flavor.
Yeah. Then they put a cinnamon stick in it.
This is good. Here, have a drink, big chicken.
And a couple leaves of mint.
What do you think one of our episodes on peyote would be like?
Oh my God. I really want to do ayahuasca. Ayahuasca's like,
is it safe?
It's safe. From what I understand, it goes like when you use it, it goes either one of two ways. Either number one, it's a really good experience where you just kind of like lay back and you have this almost transcendental experience.
Or number two, you're
just
like a zombie and eat people's faces.
No, I haven't heard stories of people saying they had like a bad experience, like hallucination experience, in terms of like, oh, I saw bugs on my skin or shit like that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any of those stories. I have heard that the bad way it goes is that you just like get sick and then you're just like throwing up a bunch.
So basically like you have a hangover, essentially.
No, it's like during it, like you drink it and then like you feel high, but then it's like you just kind of get overwhelmed and then you just throw up in a bucket a bunch.
I gotcha. So you don't get to experience anything.
Yeah.
That'd be a letdown. That'd be like going to an orgy and being too nervous to take your clothes off.
But I mean, it's not like from what I understand, it's not a case where if that happens, where you just get sick and throw up. From what I understand, it's not like, oh, you're just averted to it, and that's always going to be your reaction.
Oh, okay.
That was just probably your reaction that one time.
Like, just depends on what your body's situation is.
Exactly. So, like, you might be good one moment, you might be like, have a shitty time one night, and then the next night you do it again, and then it all works out.
Yeah. I think if we did that, only one of us should do it. We should be in the same room.
Yeah.
Because I'd be scared I'd have would you take care of me if I had a bad trip?
Of course I would.
Throw me outside. Say, watch out for the werewolves. Your dog comes over and starts licking my face.
No, they keep you in a room. Usually they have, like the places I've seen, like you pay to go to these places or whatever, and they're like in the middle of the fucking rainforest. And from the videos and stuff that I've seen, they usually like have somebody with you
Okay.
Like they have, at least one person that's like sitting with you and just kind of like, making sure you're okay, like making sure you're relaxed. And if you're not
taking
relaxed,
your money out of your wallet.
taking money out of your wallet. You're so negative.
Yeah.
Knock it off.
Richard, I have this funny taste in my mouth. Yeah. It's
call my penis. What?
Yeah.
No.
I was
Shawn, this is how the ritual starts. What ritual?
You want me to be a high priestess, don't you? I guess.
Now based on elements from Aztec mythology. Now this chick is saying she's the reincarnation of an Aztec goddess.
Okay. What if she was?
So she says there's a quote. She says the blood was the only decent food for the gods. Through it, they preserved their immortality. The goddess needed to drink blood to stay young forever, and Magdalene was supposedly the reincarnation of the Aztec goddess known as Kodaku.
I'm guessing she's a good god.
I don't know. That's fucked up. So for 6 weeks, Shawn, this is what this whole town did for like 6 weeks.
This was a whole
You know
town?
what this is? It's most of the people in this town. Well, they left the town and went up in the mountains. So they're doing this shit up in the mountains, like above the town. You know what this is? This is the plot to fucking Resident Evil 4. That's what this is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what this is. This is Resident Evil 4.
We worship Rob Zombie, living dead girl.
Because in the game, like these people kidnap the president's daughter or whatever, and so you show up to try and find her, and you show up at this town, and then you find out that everybody in the town's fucking crazy, and they're all trying to come out and kill you. And later you find out, that there's, this virus thing, and that all the people in town are infected. But I'm saying,
and then you feel bad for killing them when you could have helped cure them and find a cure for their disease.
No, you don't feel bad. You would feel bad. You'd be shooting these guys in this game.
Every time I play Grand Theft Auto and I run over somebody, I have to get out and call 911. On my real phone, I'm like, oh God, I just ran over somebody. Like, wait, is this Shawn? Yeah. Are you playing Grand Theft Auto? Uh-huh. The ambulance
told you to stop. We will send an officer to your house, sir.
You should. I'm a terrible person. Oh, wait, the ambulance came in the game and fixed them. Okay, I'm good. Bye. Click. Sorry.
The butchering went on for 6 weeks in 1963, a period in which 4 people died in this terrible way. In the last sacrifices, they reached to the point of dissecting the heart of the victims alive. So, Shawn, they're stepping up their game. That's what's happening. So we're there, and after we've been there for a month, and they're cutting hearts. Be like, remember when we used to just fucking do a bunch of peyote and fuck each other?
Oh, what if you're coming off your peyote high and you saw that? Like you got to realize this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing. The people who came off the peyote first were the non-believers. It's like, I want to be high again.
Yeah, that would be my thought. I'd be like, oh my God, I was so you wake up and you're kind of like, you're feeling kind of like groggy. You're like, oh my God, what the fuck did I do last night? Be like, check out this video. Wait, what? Is that a heart? Is that a human fucking heart?
It's still fucking
Did she just rip a human heart out of somebody's chest? When the fuck? I wanted to show up and fucking smoke some weed and jam out and get somebody on my dick, and I end up in fucking Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. This is fucked up. Give me a drink. I'm going back to being high again. I'm done with
said,
this.
No, you should travel the country and see the world, and I end up here.
This is bad. This is really bad. I don't want to do this anymore.
I want my mommy.
That sounds like something a non-believer would say.
You shut your fucking mouth, Greg.
Don't you fuck this up. Just smoke up and maybe a dude with a bullwhip will show up and save us all. You never know. Monoram, Sudaram.
Just like when you're getting high, it's like
It was a night in May of 1963 when a 14-year-old resident called Sebastian Guerrero wandered near the caves where the Sola sect was performing their rites.
Because
Attracted
the kid's
by
like,
lights.
hey, I thought I heard there were orgies up here.
I read it in the paper.
And
Somebody said there's
he walks up and sees the chick holding the knife. Sodarum! Sodarum!
Sodarum. Is this the orgy place? I brought Playboys.
Are you a believer in orgies? Yeah, of course.
I love them.
I mean, I've never participated. I probably should have started out a little bit easier, but I just thought I'd jump right in.
Right? They say you should start slow and graduate up to the fifth wheel, but I figured I could skip all that.
I like to jump in the deep end.
I shouldn't have skipped there.
He shows up at the police office like, I did a bad thing. I skipped the fifth wheel.
So attracted by the lights and noises coming out of one of the caves, he came sniffing around, met a terrible sight, and silently watched the terrible slaughter that a poor and unknown victim suffered. So so in this case, Sebastian is our Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Because he's like, hey, I heard there's fucking orgies and treasure up here. And he goes off into the mountains, and then he comes upon these people ripping hearts out of chests, and he's like, what the fuck?
And on his trip to find the Holy Grail, he's like, orgies. I hate orgies.
Why did it have to be orgies? Terrified, he ran over 25 kilometers from Yerba Buena to the town of Villa Grande.
To the town of Toronto, Canada.
And he ran into the nearest police station. He was exhausted and still in shock, and he failed to give any other description of the group of murderers who prey on ecstasy and who were gluttonously drinking human blood like vampires. So this kid shows up, and he basically calls them vampires. He's like, there's people up in the fucking mountains, and they're ripping hearts out of people's chests and they're drinking blood. They're like vampires. We have vampires in Mexico. Oh my God, I just realized vampires in Mexico. You know what this is, Shawn? Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, I was going to say Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
No, this is Dusk Till Dawn.
It is.
It is like Dusk Till Dawn because it starts out all like sexy like, and fucking what's her name?
Selma Hayek. Yeah, it's like
Selma Hayek shows up and she's pouring beer on her foot, and then shit goes bad, and now hearts are getting ripped out and everybody's drinking blood.
Oh, so I wonder if young Sebastian grew up to be Robert Rodriguez, and him and Quentin had a discussion, and Quentin's like,
listen, let me tell you about this fucked up shit that happened to me when I was a kid.
Robert Rodriguez wrote that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is Robert Rodriguez.
He's Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So his real name is Sebastian Guerrero. Let's all remember that too.
And he had to change it because the goddess was going to get out in a few years. Was pissed.
The officers laughed at the babbling statements of Guerrero, taking them as the ravings of a disturbed or drugged boy. Like, this dude's high on peyote. He's probably up from those people in the mountains. All they do is do peyote and fuck each other. That's not all they do, officer! The next morning, investigator Luis Martinez escorted the boy home, and in the process, he was able to show him where he had seen the vampires. And Shawn, that was the last day Sebastian Guerrero and Luis Martinez were seen alive.
Oh, shit.
Got him.
That sucks.
Right?
That's like, oh, there's no shark in the water. Go and swim.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in this case, the investigator is not like the mayor in that shitty fucking island town, because the mayor never got in the water.
Mayor's
this investigator is like, okay, show me where the vampires are. Yeah, kid.
He walks up. Excuse me, ma'am. I hear there's vampires here, and you do not look like it. Oh God.
What is that?
So
you have fruit punch mouth. Why do you have fruit punch mouth?
Oh, that's sad. So this isn't Robert Rodriguez. Unless he got
Nope.
away. Unless Robert Rodriguez is a vampire.
Oh my God. You're blowing this wide open.
I am.
You know the last words of this kid had to have been like, told you so.
Yeah.
Y'all laughed at me. I'm in the police station, and y'all laughed at me.
Oh, look at Sebastian. He skipped the fifth wheel. Well, guess what? You get to skip dinner tonight, asshole, because you're dead.
Police who were dismayed by the disappearance of Guerrero and Martinez then took the case seriously. They started talking about a satanic cult. On May 31st, 1963, police, in conjunction with the army, deployed an operation in Yerba Buena.
Well, wouldn't you? They disappeared. It's like, there might be vampires up here. We're not fucking around. Get the army in here.
That's a good point. Like this thing went from 0 to fucking 100 real quick.
Sir, half of us have wooden bullets. The other half have silver bullets. What's going on here?
We're not taking any chances.
Why are they calling it Operation Dustum?
What kind of vampires are we dealing with? Are we dealing with Buffy vampires? Are we dealing with underworld vampires? Which kind here, kid? Come on. Help us out.
All right, guys, let's play our battle hymn. Ba, ba, da, da, ba, boo. Ba, na, 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 na.
Yeah, dude, you're right. These guys aren't fucking around. These dudes are like, holy shit, there might actually be vampires. What do we do? Get the fucking army. I'm not going up there by myself. Vampires in the mountains.
Walks into the sergeant's office like, hey, Sarge, like you said, did you eat pizza today? Like, what smells like garlic in here? Nothing, Lieutenant.
He stands up, big rope of garlic around him. We're going up into the mountains, but we're getting the army first. Vampires in the mountains.
Here, touch this. What is it? It's a Holy Cross, you satanic bastard.
Oh, shit. Power of Christ compels you. What is he compelling me? He's compelling me to punch you in the face. Stop dripping water on me.
It burns, doesn't? No, it just got in my eye.
No, ow, it hurts.
I'm gonna get pink eye now.
Rub some of that garlic in your eye, bastard. Okay, so the police show up with the army and conduct an operation on the sleepy town of Yerba Buena. Eleazar and Magdalena Solis were arrested on a farm in the town, and they were in possession of a considerable amount of marijuana.
So is that all they got him on is marijuana?
I'm not there yet, but God, wouldn't that just be the shit?
Yeah. It's like all the bad people, like Al Capone. So
yeah, like Capone, the one thing he gets on is tax evasion.
Mm-hmm. It's like, oh,
these guys have a vampire fucking Aztec cult in the mountains, and they're like, nope, possession.
All right, gonna get 3 years in jail.
Fucking that's tax dollars at work, man. Considerable amount of marijuana. Santos Hernandez was shot by police while resisting arrest, and Cavitano Hernandez was the victim of his own lies. He was assassinated by one of the crazy members of the sect called Jesus Rubio, who before the crisis wanted to be part of the body of High Priest for protection.
He saw his opportunity. He's like, this is step number 3.
I figured it out. This is why I should be a priest. So yeah, okay, so let's consider this, Shawn. The two brothers who started this whole fucking thing in the first place both get killed. One gets shot by police, and the other one gets killed by one of the members of the fucking cult because the guy wants to be a high priest.
I mean, they kind of got what came to them, I guess.
Meanwhile, the people they hired that basically like escalated this whole thing into ripping hearts out and shit, they simply get arrested with a barn full of pot. Damn.
The Inca goddess works in mysterious ways.
In subsequent investigations, they found first the carved up bodies of Guerrero and Martinez near a farm where the Solis siblings were arrested. They had removed the heart of the latter in style of Aztec sacrifice. They then found the bodies also dismembered of other 6 persons in the vicinity of the caves. So there's 8 people, Shawn. 8 people getting hearts cut out.
This is in less than a year?
Like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. This is over the period of like a few months.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
this is over the course of 6 weeks.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in 6 weeks, they went from, fun orgies and smoking a bunch of dope to blood drinking and hearts getting cut out. Meanwhile, the police went from being like, oh, you're just a stupid kid. Like, get out of here with your stories about fucking vampires. Let me guess, there's a fucking creature in the Black Lagoon, too. And they went from that to like, let's get the fucking army in here and fuck some people up. Because I'm fucking around with vampires. To wearing a garlic necklace.
I had an
in
uncle
a shootout
once who went to a bar full of vampires. There's a chick there dancing. Like, he always drank beer off toes. Like, grandma would have to like get on the couch, pour beer down her. He'd drink it for it. It was weird, but PTSD.
You ever seen a 6-year-old woman pour beer down her naked body? That shit sticks with you. They were sentenced. Oh, yeah. Magdalena and Elazar Solis were sentenced to 50 years in prison for only 2 homicides, the ones of Guerrero and Martinez. They were not able to confirm their participation in the other 6 murders because all the cult members arrested refused to testify.
So they stuck to her till the end.
Yeah, they did. So even after they got arrested, they're like, I'm not gonna speak ill of my God.
They're like, this is a test. I'm still a believer.
Like your God's sitting in the fucking in county lockup right now. And so far she hasn't moved the bars to get out. So,
oh man, that's scary stuff.
Many members of the sect were shot in a shootout with police because, as they were armed, they barricaded themselves in the caves. Those who were arrested were sentenced to 30 years in prison for 6 counts of murder in the form of group or gang murder. Their illiterate and pauperized condition served as mitigating factors. It was not until years later that some ex-cult members spoke of the horrors of the cult. So basically, they were like, in their defense, Your Honor, these people are stupid.
Yeah.
Like, they're stupid, simple people. And somebody shows up and is like, hey, I'm a god. So, of course, they're going to believe it.
Here, drink this magic water, and it's peyote.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
So 50 years, this was in the 60s, so she had to have been getting out fairly soon, fairly recent?
She had to have gotten out through like 4 years ago.
Is
so
she free?
63. Dude, I don't know. I've been trying. I spent like 10 minutes while we were talking. I spent like 10 minutes trying to find if this chick is actually still alive, if she got out of prison.
Well, Richard,
like,
did you try a blood sacrifice?
No. Molaram, Sunaram.
Oh. So she could be alive, could be dead, we don't know, but she's probably definitely free, at least.
Yeah.
Well, Richard, in this very uplifting episode, what's your Richard's closing thoughts?
A fifth wheel does an orgy make. So that's what I'm gonna say, because we're gonna, you know what, Shawn, in all this talk of vampires and blood sacrifice and hearts getting cut out, let's end this on a high, okay? Let's end this on a high note, on a peyote note, okay?
Start out slow, go with 5.
Yeah, work your way up to 5. Don't jump into 5. You're not ready for that.
Find a
I'm
friend,
not ready.
do a couple
Nobody's
stay,
ready.
Then maybe add an extra person in there. See how that goes.
All right.
All right, let me do a little housekeeping. Go to our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're at languageofbro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbromance.com. Check out the LB Army intelligence reports. Like us on Facebook. And go out recruit somebody for the LB Army by getting someone you know to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Yeah. And when you're on any of those platforms, but I mean, probably iTunes is your best bet. Be sure to throw up a rating and a review, because we love reading them, or we hate reading them. No, we love reading them because we hate ourselves.
Yeah,
That's
we always look
true.
to see who worships us, and it's nobody.
Yeah. For when we start our cult.
Yeah,
Rule number 1, polygamy.
There's not going to be no human sacrifices in our cult.
No.
The only sacrifice is you have to listen to our podcast on repeat over and over.
Right. So really, the only thing you're sacrificing is your own dignity.
And Richard, as always, we are part of the Pod Bros Network.
Because this is the cult of podcasts on the internet.
And if you want to throw a little money into our tip jar, go to our Patreon accounts, www.patreon.com/languageofbromance.
Yeah. Step 1, visit us on Patreon. Step 2,
listen to us.
Step
3,
Step 4, profit.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Richard, as we've shared all the knowledge to get profit, is there anything else before I close her out?
No, let's hurry before they ask us what step 3 is.
All right, well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the beaver. Motoram.
Sudoram. Every time I said Motoram, Sudoram, the dog was fucking freaking out. Did you hear her? Like every time I said it, she'd get up and start walking around.